Good morning, students. Welcome to the data structure session. In today's topic, we are going to see about depth first traversal. In the last class, we saw one more traversal technique called breadth first search. So we have two traversal techniques in graph: depth first search and then breadth first search. We all know that breadth first search uses queue concept. Yes. Hope you remember that one. It uses queue data structure, and then depth first traversal or depth first search uses stack data structure. So these are the two things you have to remember before getting into the traversal technique. In the last class, we saw about the breadth first traversal. Let's have a quick revision about that breadth first. We saw this example. Are you able to recollect it? If you have any doubts, you can ask. So consider this graph. What you have to do, you can start from any vertex. Yes. Initially, all the vertices are unvisited. The ultimate objective of these traversal or what? You have to visit all the nodes. Traversing means visiting. You have to visit all the nodes. You should not miss any one node. Assume that you are going from one country to other country or one place to other place. Suppose you are aiming at visiting some 5 to 6 cities. So at the end you must visited all those 6 cities while reaching your destination. For that we are using this concept. Assume your source vertex as A. So you are starting from A. What's the next thing you have to do? NQ. NQ that particular A in a queue, in an empty queue. Then find all the adjacent vertices of A. Then place it one by one. So B, D and E, you can place it in any order. Then go to that next element. For D, find all the adjacent nodes. Like that you are going to do. After finding all the adjacents, what you have to do? You have to remove that element from the queue. Suppose if there is no more adjacent node for that vertex, means simple thing, you have to remove, dequeue the particular element from the queue. Like that you are going to repeat the steps. Are you able to recollect it? So finally, at one point, you are getting the stage that all the nodes are visited. At that stage, you are actually dequeuing all the elements one by one. So at last, your queue will become empty. Yes. So this is the result of your breadth first traversal. You are visiting in this way: A, B, D, then what? E, from E to C, G, or E to F. Then you are backtracking to E. Then you are going to C, and then finally you are reaching G. There is no closed loop formation here. This structure is called as what? Spanning tree. At the end, you are getting the spanning tree. So yes, this is the technique behind the breadth first search. Mainly, it is used to find the shortest path from one vertex to another vertex in an unweighted graph, and also to check whether the graph contains cycle or not. Okay, so these are the applications of BFS. Now we move on to the depth first search. Another important technique, or both the techniques are used in many applications. Okay, so in DFS, as told earlier, we are using what? Stack data structure. So these are the steps that are used to implement depth first search. First, select the start vertex. Then what you have to do? Visit the vertex. That means you are making that unvisited node as visited. So place it as 1 or mark it as 1. Find the adjacent vertices of that particular node. In breadth first search, you are writing all the adjacent vertices one by one in the queue. But here you are going to write one adjacent node. Any one adjacent node of that particular vertex, you have to place it in the stack. Then go to that particular node. Then you have to find the adjacent nodes. If there are 2 or 3 adjacent nodes, means you have to place only one. Yes. So in this way you are going to do. That is the third point. Find the adjacent vertices. Visit any one of the adjacent unvisited vertex. You are not going to place all the vertices. That is the difference between BFS and DFS. Okay. Now listen carefully. It's a very, very important concept. There is no much difference between DFS and BFS, but you have to understand clearly where you are differing. That is at which point BFS differs from DFS. So you are placing only one adjacent vertex and mark it as visited. Then where you have to place it onto the stack. Suppose if there is no adjacent vertex means you have to pop the vertex from the stack. In BFS, what we have done, you are dequeuing the element from the queue. Here, similarly, here you are deleting. Deleting means what? Pop up. So popping the vertex from the stack. Okay, if there is no more adjacent vertex, you have to repeat this rule. Yes, this rule at 1 and 2 until the stack becomes empty. In BFS, what we are doing, until the queue becomes empty, we are repeating the step. Here, until the stack becomes empty, we are going to do this step. Okay, I will get into example, it will be clear. After that, look at that left side, no need to look at the right part of that one. So you are using a function. This is a simple routine. I didn't mention the entire program, just the subroutine or the function of DFS function. You are passing the argument V of type what? Vertex. That is the initial vertex. Then you are using another vertex because you are going to find the adjacent vertex for any vertex. So once you are starting from any vertex, you are making it as what? Marking it as 1. So visited of V equal to 1. Okay. 1 second. So in DFS, initially we are starting from any one vertex. We are making that vertex as 1. Okay. Then push V, where you are pushing the vertex onto the stack. Then you have to find the adjacent vertex. Before finding the adjacent vertex, you are popping that particular vertex. That is these are the two things that are given. Pop of V for each W adjacent to V, because W is the vertex adjacent to V. For each W means you can have more than one adjacent vertex. Okay, if not equal to visited of W, that means what? I have not visited that particular adjacent vertex. So what you have to do? You have to apply that same DFS function. Just it's a recursion function. DFS of W. What you will do? So you are making that vertex as visited. Then you are pushing onto the stack. Before removing the element, find the adjacent vertex. Like that, you are going to repeat these steps until all the nodes are visited. Got it? If you have any doubts, you can stop at any point, students. Don't hesitate. So this is the same graph, because for easy understanding, I have taken the same example which we have saw in the BFS. If you have seen in the BFS traversal. So we are having 7 vertices in this graph. You can start from any vertex. Initially, I started from A. I asked you to work out with a source vertex of D or E. Did anyone try it? You can try it later after the class also. These are all small things you can able to understand the concept. You can easily understand the concept. It's not necessary that as A is the starting alphabet, it's not necessary that you have to start from A. You can make E as the source vertex or F as the source vertex, anything. Okay. In this example, I am starting from A, vertex A. So select the vertex A as the starting point. So you are going to visit from A. So what you have to do first, mark that vertex A as 1. In that routine we saw. So you are making it as 1. Visited of V equal to 1. Here visited of A equal to 1. Then what you have to do, push A onto the stack. Initially your stack is empty. So you are going to push A onto the stack. Okay. Then what you have to do, find the adjacent vertices of A. In BFS what we did, we wrote all the adjacent vertices. Here there are 3 adjacent vertices for A. B, D and E. We have written one by one in the queue. But here you are going to take any one vertex, any one adjacent vertex. Okay. There is no condition to choose only B or only that left side like that. Okay. So now look at the second step. Visit any adjacent vertex of A which is not visited. If it is already visited means no need. Okay, you have to go to that next adjacent vertex. Here we are starting from A only, so B is not visited. So what you have to do, push B onto the stack. Push the newly visited vertex B onto the stack. Actually, we are popping only at the end. That means if there are no more visited, no more adjacent nodes means we are going to pop. Okay. Here look at the right side part. Visited of V equal to true for each W adjacent to V. No need to use that push and pop. Just actually you are pushing only. Popping is done at the end only if there are no more unvisited nodes or no more adjacent nodes. Okay. So what I have done, I have pushed B. So here now, how many nodes are visited so far? 2 nodes, A and B are visited. Now look at the third step. Now go to B. Okay. You can consider all the other adjacent vertices of A later. Okay, because we are passing one by one. From A, I am choosing one adjacent vertex, go to that particular vertex. From B, you are going to choose one adjacent vertex, then you are pushing that element. Then from that particular vertex, find the adjacent node. Any one adjacent node, push it onto the stack. You have to repeat like this. You can look at step 3. Visit any adjacent vertex of B. Because there are 2 adjacent, actually 3 adjacent vertices of B. Yes, how many vertices? A, E and C are the adjacent vertices of B. But A is already visited. Okay, you can take either E or C here. Here I have taken C. You can go with E example also. Okay. Finally, the answer will be same only. You can check it. So C is not visited. So you are pushing C onto the stack. Yes. Now tell me before going into the next slide, what we have to do next. You can put it in chat or you can unmute and tell. What's the next thing we have to do? Make it fast. After this step, what you have to do? Anyone? Though it is right or wrong, open your mouth. I have started from A. I visited the particular vertex B. Then I am finding the adjacent vertex for B. I go to C, mark it as visited. What I have to do next? Nobody there? Yes, adjacent of C. Find the adjacent vertex of C. Only one girl answered. Are you all there? So find the adjacent vertex of C. How many nodes are adjacent to C? Actually, 4 nodes are adjacent. Yes, B, E, F and G. B is already visited, so no need to worry about it. You can choose any of these 3 vertices, E, F or G. So I have taken E. So place E on the top of the stack. Look at the stack also simultaneously. While you are pushing element one by one, your top will get incremented. Now top is pointing to E. Okay. So push E onto the stack. What's the next thing you have to do? Find any adjacent vertex of E. Any one adjacent vertex only. That is the important difference between BFS and DFS. Okay. Visit any adjacent vertex of E which is not visited. Actually, how many nodes are adjacent to E? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nodes are adjacent. D, A. So D, A, B, C and F. All these nodes are adjacent to E, but already A and B are visited. C also visited. From E, either you can go to D or you can use F. Okay. Here I have marked D as visited. So what you have to do, once I am going to that particular vertex means you have to push it onto the stack. So push the element D onto the stack. Now tell me what will be the next step. Find the adjacent node of D. What are the adjacent node of D? A and E only. Both are visited. So you have to come back to E. Okay. There is no new vertex from E. Sorry, from D. So you have to use the technique called as backtracking. Backtracking means coming to the same position, coming to the previous position. All of you are aware of the maze game. Yes. Maze, you are having many hidden paths. There will be some obstacles. All will be familiar. Either you have played physically or you are playing through phone. In the maze, what's the thing? You are going to start from one point. You have to reach the destination. But in between, there are so many paths will be there. So many obstacles will be there. Suppose you are going to path one, through path one. There is some obstacle. There is no more path means what you will do? You come back. You reverse. You reverse to the previous question and you are finding is there any other path. You are going, suppose if you are finding at some point some path 2 means you are passing through the path 2. But at that path also if you are facing some obstacle means what you will do? You will backtrack. Yes. So that is called as backtracking, coming back to the previous question and finding alternate solution, finding alternate way. So in this DFS, I forgot to tell initially, you are using the backtracking method. So use backtrack. What you are going to do? Because you are at the position D now. There are no more unvisited vertices. What you have to do means you have to pop particular vertex from the stack. At this point only you are going to do pop. If there are no more adjacent vertex or no more new vertex to be visited means pop the particular element. So now D will be popped. D will be removed from the stack. Now top is pointing to which element? E. So come to that E. Find the adjacent vertex. That means you are checking is there any other node unvisited. How many nodes are adjacent? Same thing. D, B, A, C and E. All other nodes are unvisited except what? F. Because I have not visited F. How? You can ask how we know whether the node is visited or not? By placing it onto the stack. Yes. Once if I visit means I have to place it onto the stack. With that we can check whether the node is visited or not. We are marking it as 1. That is for our understanding we are marking it as 1. So here from E there is one more vertex that is not visited. That is what? F. So push F onto the stack. Yes. I hope you are all writing parallelly. Then only it will be more clear. If you look at it later, you will get it easily. Yes, you can draw it one by one. These are the steps you have to draw one by one. Don't directly write the spanning tree. The question is asked. So now F is visited. You are at the place F. And also top is pointing to vertex F. Now what you have to do? Check whether there is any unvisited node from F. Actually find all the adjacent vertices E, C and G. E and C are already visited. What's the only node that is not visited? G. So push onto the stack.
2, ma'am.
Yes? Yes, no? So from F, what you have to do? Okay, sorry. Yes, you are correct. So I am at position E. After that only I have to come to F. So look at step 6. Yes, you are right. So you are coming to E because you have removed D. Now you are at position E. You are checking whether any node is unvisited or not. Okay. So after popping the element D, what you are going to do? From E, what is the adjacent node? F. So F, you are going to place F onto the stack. Yes. Next one, visit any adjacent vertex of F, which is not visited. What's the unvisited node so far? G. So push on to the stack. Again, I repeat this one. Actually, we have removed element D. Then you are at position what? E. How can we say we are at position E? Because top of the stack pointing to E. From E, what is the unvisited node? F. So push F onto the stack. Then from F, you are checking is there any other unvisited node? G is there. So push onto the stack. Okay. But when can we stop this traversal step? Only if the stack becomes empty. So what you have to do? Again, you have to backtrack. Because from G, there are no more vertices. All the nodes are visited. So use backtracking, pop G from the stack. If G is removed means top will get decremented. Where it is pointing? F. Go to that F position. This backtracking is done for checking whether any one node is not visited or not. Suppose at some point some node might be missed. For that you are using the backtracking technique. So come to F. Is there any unvisited node? No. The visited nodes are marked as green. This is for our purpose only, for easy understanding only. Yes. So from F there is no more unvisited nodes. So what you have to do? Pop F. Now top is pointing to whom? E. Go to E. Check whether there is any unvisited node. Suppose if you are having, just for example, I am telling. Look for one thing. Suppose if there is any one node as M, assume that. This is also a graph only, yes? It's not necessary that all the vertices should be closed. This is also a graph. So you are backtracking to E. At this point, you are checking whether there is any unvisited node. Now, what is the M is unvisited. So you can place M here. Then from M, you are checking is there any other unvisited node. There is no more node. So you have to what? DQM. Then you are coming back to E. Then you are checking is there unvisited node. Like that. You should not miss any vertex. That is the important thing. Okay. Got it? So just you ignore this one. Just for understanding, I have mentioned that example. Like this, a graph may be given in any order. There may be some 11 vertices, 10 vertices, anything. Okay. So where we are now? We are at the vertex E because top is pointing to E. There is no new vertex to be visited from E. So what you have to do? Say 2 steps. Backtrack, then pop it. Just pop the element E. Now top is pointing to whom? C. From C there is no more unvisited node. So you are popping the element C. Top pointing to B. No more unvisited nodes. So pop it from the stack. Now top pointing to A. Finally, you are having only one vertex A. From A, all other nodes are visited. So pop A from the stack. Now see, stack is empty. At this stage only, our traversal comes to an end. Okay. So stop the DFS traversal. So this is your final result. In which way we pop, that is pushed the elements onto the stack. You have to draw the tree like that. A, B, C, E, like that. So A, B, C, then E. From E, where we have gone? E, F, G. So in which way we have pushed the elements onto the stack? You have to draw the spanning tree like that. So A, B, C, E, D. Then you are coming back to E. From E, we are traversing what? F and then G. Here, some node can be visited more than once because you are backtracking. You are using the backtracking technique. You are visiting the same node. Okay, but that is one of the important issues while we are moving from one place to other. Coming back to the same place and you are going to a different place means it will take time. But for maze game and all, we are using this DFS only. Yes. You are coming to this path, you are reaching D. From D, there is no other path. So what you have to do, again, you have to come back to E and you have to find alternate solution. Yes. So you are coming to F, then you are reaching G. At this stage, all the nodes are visited. Okay. So this is the result of the depth first traversal. Got it? If you have any doubt, you can ask. You have to understand the difference between this DFS and the BFS. We are mainly using for, this is also used for undirected graph, mainly to check whether it is connected or not. And also, this DFS is used for checking the graph whether it is bi-connected or not. Bi-connected means there is path from A to B and also from B to A. Because you are backtracking and you are checking is there any path. There is no path from one vertex to other vertex in the reverse direction means then that is unidirectional. It's not biconnected. And also to check whether the directed graph is cyclic graph or not. Whether it contains cycle formation, this is for directed graph. These are the applications mainly we are using in the maze game. Now you can try this one. I told already for a BFS. What is the other name for a BFS, breadth first traversal? I told once. What is the other name for breadth first traversal? Nobody is answering. Yes, got one answer. Good, Tulasi Nolni. Level order traversal. Level order means what? I am processing. I am checking the vertices level by level. I am starting at level 0. Your root is at level 0. Then where I have to come? Level 1. I hope you all remember. Just look at this one. You can take an easy example. This only I have drawn for BFS. I hope so. Assume that this is a graph. Okay. You name it as 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 7 vertices. Okay. So these 7 vertices we have to visit. Okay. In a breadth first search, we are using the level order traversal. So initially your root is at level 0. Then what you are doing, finding all the adjacent vertices of 1, 2 and 3. You are going to visit first 2, then 3. This is at level 1. Then what you are going to do, come to that second level, visit all the nodes in that particular level. This is level 2. Finally, you are reaching the level 3. This is breadth first search. But now what you are doing, you can say, see here. So here I am starting from vertex 1. What I am doing, I am going to vertex D. I can choose any adjacent vertex, either 2 or 3. Okay, I am going to 2. From 2, what I am doing? I am going to visit any one adjacent vertex of 2, either 5 or 4. Assume that I am reaching 4. Now listen carefully. That black diagram, just it's a graph representation. This pink color, I am using it for depth first technique. Sorry. So from 4, what we are going to do? Find the adjacent vertex of 4. What is the adjacent vertex of 4? 7. So you have to go to 7. Don't think that you have reached the last vertex. Your process get completed. There are still unvisited nodes are there. Now, what you have to do? Check, is there any is there any adjacent vertex to 7? Yes, 4 and 5 are there because this is an undirected graph. So what I can do? Come to 5. Yes, suppose if 5 is not connected means what I have to do? Backtrack. Go to the position 4. No more vertex. So go to 2. Then you are finding any other adjacent vertex is present or not. Yes. Now, from 5 you are checking what? Adjacent vertices. How many nodes are actually adjacent to 5? 2 and 3. Yes. 2 is already visited. So from 5 where I can go? 3. Okay. Just going back, reverse direction. From 3 you are finding the unvisited vertex. Actually, you are finding all the adjacent nodes and you are checking, is there any node unvisited? What is the node that is unvisited? 6. Because 1 and 6 are adjacent to 3. 1 is already visited. So from 3, I am traversing to 6. So what's the path I have used? 1, 2, 4, 7, 5, 3, 6. There is no cycle formation. This is your spanning tree. This is the result of your DFS. But in BFS, what we have done? What is the order we have followed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Understand the difference. Okay. The result of BFS is one. There is the order will change for BFS and DFS, but actually you will visit all the nodes. There is no doubt in that. The order of the BFS, breadth first traversal, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because you are moving in level by level. But what is the order here in DFS? 1, 2, 4, 7, 5, 3, 6. This difference you have to understand. Okay, got it? Any doubts? Now you can try this one. Actually, I thought of removing that answer, but I forgot. So, okay, no problem. How many vertices are there? 8 vertices are there. Yes, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then G. Yes, it's given as source vertex. You can give any name. Nodes can also be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 100, 101, 130, like that. Any node, that is the vertex can be either numbered or it can be given in alphabets. So you are starting from S. What you are doing in DFS? Go to any one adjacent node. This dotted line is the steps that is mentioned. Okay. So from S, I am going to one adjacent vertex. Actually, I have 3 adjacent vertices for S, A, B, and C. So I move to 1. Sorry, I move to A. That is the first step. From A, what I have to do? Find the adjacent vertex. Go to any one adjacent vertex. Then what you have to do? Push that element onto the stack. Initially, you are having S. From S, you are starting. So, S will be in stack. Then what's the element? A. Then what? You are moving to D. Yes. From D, find the adjacent vertex, G. So, from D, I am moving to G. The steps are given in the number sequentially. First step S to A, then A to D, and then D to G. From G, I can use either E or F. You can also give from G, you can take the fourth step as F. From F, you are going to C. Then again, you have to backtrack. Here they have mentioned it as what? From G, we are marking the vertex E. Okay. From E, find the adjacent node B. So far, S, A, D, G, E, and B are visited. What you have to do next? Look at the previous example I have mentioned. Just think of it. What we have to do? There is no more vertex. Now top of the stack is pointing to whom? B. Yes. Let me write. So initially you are having, sorry. So initially you are having S in the stack. Then I am pushing A. Then I am pushing D. Then what? G. And then E. Then B is there. There are no more unvisited vertex from B because only E is the adjacent vertex. So what I have to do? Pop this B from the stack. Backtrack. Where you have to go? Go to E. Check whether any unvisited node from E. There is no more unvisited node. So again you have to pop E from the stack. Now top is pointing to whom? G. Yes. Check whether is there any unvisited node. Yes, F is there. So what you have to do? After S, A, D, G, which element you have to push? F. Okay. Now top of the stack is pointing to F. Then from F, check is there any adjacent node and unvisited node. Yes, C is there. So write C. So this is the order. S, A, D, G, E, B, you are backtracking. No need to put again the same vertex. B to E means again B, E, no need to put. You have to put it just all the vertices in one time only. S, A, D, G, E, then what? B, F, and then C. Okay. So this kind of traversal we have seen in a tree data structure. You are aware of the pre-order traversal. Pre-order means root is visited first, then left node, and then right child. Left child and then right child. This is applicable for all the subtrees. So just your pre-order traversal is nothing but your DFS technique here. You can solve it for any other example also. Okay. So with this, I stop today's presentation. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So we have covered two important techniques, BFS and then DFS in the last two classes. Any doubts so far? Feel free to ask the doubts because most important concepts in the graph data structure. These are the two important traversal techniques. Okay, thank you, students.